Hey everyone, my name is Suzanne Harper and welcome to the Sharper View. Today's subject is when you're over 70, are you elderly or well seasoned? What do you think? I think that I'm well seasoned, okay? Although I think society has different ideas about that. If you listen to news stories or read news articles and they feature somebody older, say 65. Especially, notice this, especially in police reports, they refer to that person as an elderly person. For example, Nora Smith fought off a would-be mugger at her local 7-Eleven store. The elderly lady, 65-year-old Nora Smith, blah, 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 blah. Well, that always floors me when somebody younger than me is referred to as elderly. Okay, it's kind of a hard pill to swallow. What do you consider elderly? I would say elderly is somebody that's like 99. Or do you consider it somebody that is dependent on other people to help them with their everyday needs? There's a couple of ways of looking at that, isn't there? The thing about being in your 70s, things change. Things can change pretty fast. You might do blood work and get a call from your doctor that something is not exactly right. The other thing is, I recently got a diagnosis of wet macular degeneration in both eyes. Now, I talked about this in another video, more or less for people that are facing the same thing. I described my symptoms, the treatment, and the treatment is eye injections. Yeah. See that? Again, another hard pill to swallow, but the eye injections are no worse than any dental injection I've ever had. Okay? I think the worst part of it is thinking that you may have to do them every month for the rest of your life. And, that is a boogeyman that you have to keep at bay when it comes to something like this. Yes, it's a degenerative disease. They do have medications now that can stop the progression and sometimes even restore some of your eyesight. And that is what I hold on to. That is the hope I hold on to. The other thing is, I am not going to throw in the towel because I got a diagnosis. There are people that are terminal, much worse off than me, much worse off than you. You have to keep it in perspective, Yeah. So, that's another thing you deal with when you're over 70. It's easy to isolate. I think a certain amount of isolation is good for you, especially if when you're around other people, they're not really your people, if you know what I mean. You might be kind of looped into a situation where just because you're like in the same group with somebody else doesn't mean you resonate with that person. And at this point in life, I would say you don't have time, you don't have that luxury to not be discerning about who you spend your time with. In my opinion, I'm much happier spending time by myself. At least I know it's going to be quality time with somebody I like. Okay? Me. Okay, and there's a lot of things that society heaps on you when you're older that I don't think you have to accept. It's funny, I was watching a YouTube video of a doctor that I subscribe to, and he was talking about how the medical community treats older people. And he said he went to a doctor visit with one of his relatives who happened to be older, and when the doctor would address his relative, he would basically yell at the person, assuming they couldn't hear him. And it's true. Um, One thing I don't like, one thing I really, really, really don't like, I hate, is when a 30-year-old man calls me dear or hun. Okay? I'm not your grandma. Okay? I do take offense to that. Please refer to me by my name. Okay? It's kind of demeaning unless we're dating. And if you're 30 and you want to date me, wow. I guess I'm pretty lucky. Okay? Although we'd have nothing to talk about, I'm sure. Yeah. So, yeah, there's things you have to come to terms with when you're in your 70s. But I still feel like this is the best chapter. I mean, look, you're not on the 9 to 5 treadmill anymore. You answer to no one, really. I don't answer to anybody, not even my husband. He doesn't care what I do. I don't care what he does. If I want to stay up all night and watch YouTube videos and sleep all day, he's fine with it. If he wants to do that, I'm fine with him doing that. Okay? As long as our everyday necessities are taken care of, the bills are getting paid, it's not up to me to be telling somebody how to live their life, whether I'm married to him or not, and vice versa. Okay? That is my recipe for happy marriage. You do you, and I'll do me. Okay? I do appreciate my husband. I'm very fortunate to have a spouse, especially when there are so many people my age that are widows or widowers. Okay? I spent most of my adult life as a single adult, and I know what it's like to be alone. And I will say there is a lot of comfort in knowing that you have a partner and somebody you can share life with. So, much respect to anybody, much love to anyone that's lost their partner. Okay, so tell me what you think about you. Are you well seasoned? When I say well seasoned, this is the way I see it. You still have a youthful spark about you, but you've learned from your experiences. And if you had issues, you fixed yourself. Okay? Because I'll tell you what, there are people I know in their 70s that really need some counseling. Yeah, they have not fixed themselves at all. And it's a shame because life is so much better for you and everyone around you to do the inward, deep work on yourself and quit being the victim and quit making excuses for yourself. Because I'll tell you what, as you get older, if you were an asshole when you were young, you're going to be a bigger asshole when you're older. Okay? And nobody's got time for that. You want to know why people don't want you around? You're a fucking downer. Okay? Oh, did I drop an F-bomb? Yeah, well, okay. Sometimes it's just because you're a downer. And it's very hard to look in the mirror and figure that out about yourself. But people's reactions to you say it all. Okay? So take on that responsibility of yourself, and life will be much happier for you. Okay? Thanks for stopping by today. My name is Suzanne Harper. This is Life at 70 and the Sharper View. If you enjoyed the video today, please give me a like, and please do join the community of like-minded people where I talk about numerous topics, including life at 70 and beyond. Everyone, take care of yourself. Mwah. And I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.